Good morning, YouTube. Hey, guys, welcome in. Thank you so much for watching this video over at DryerBuzz.com. So, once we go live, there's a couple things that we want to do, of course, to get people in and get people watching, get our morning started. It's all blogging, but this particular one is called DryerBuzz Live because it is live and you get a chance to watch it on our DryerBuzz.com page. Now, if you're catching it anywhere else, you want to make sure that you go over to DryerBuzz.com. So I see you guys. Look, I'm looking all sideways because I have another device that's below you guys that we're gonna. I need to go in. I'm gonna add this video to a couple of playlists because there are those. Let me see. Now we got audio, so let me turn that down. So now we're gonna get some reverb. All right. So what I'm doing, and this is kind of a little bit more about blogging as well. When you do get your video going, you want to share it out. I got a couple. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put it on Facebook and then put it on Twitter. I need to embed it. It's already embedded. I have a playlist embedded that captures these videos. So I'm using my other device just to add this to my DryerBuzz Live playlist. It happens so fast while I'm talking here. I want to make sure we get that done. And then I'm also going to go live on another device, multi-streaming. You see a lot of people that are multi-streaming, but I'm certainly not going to ignore you guys up there on YouTube that are watching because we're going to have some good conversation today. And let's see here. We have our live video there. And it's at another angle, so I want to make sure my dress is straight and I want to see where they're coming in, and I'm gonna bring them up just a little bit to hit that button as well. So while I'm live on YouTube, you will see me answer a couple of questions and comments that I have here below you guys. So let's get that. Let's bring them up a little bit, get them kind of in the same angle as you guys, and then I'm gonna do a couple of things, housekeeping down here, and I need to tighten up everything on my joystick. Let's see here. And I always just kind of invite a couple people in who are part of the top 20 and your top 20 is like your 80-20. You're 80% of those that are kind of just watching, but really that 20% that will like, follow, share, engage, and you kind of depend on them to help your content get to where it needs to go. So I just always just send out a little bit because, a little bit of engagement goes a long way. And especially because I want to talk with them and answer some of the questions that they may have and say good morning. Tiffany Mac Fitzgerald, hello, sweetheart. I know you have been so awesomely busy, and we really need to catch up and see what you have going on because it's an amazing time. So there you go. Okay, the intro is done. Everybody in? Everybody in. Now, normally I'd probably be over in the kitchen making breakfast, but we made some things yesterday that we're going to try and enjoy today while we have breakfast with DryerBuzz. Namely, we made our grapefruit ginger juice. You see, I've got a little bit of that left. Grapefruit, carrot, ginger, and pear. And I probably should have put some peaches in there now that I think about it and the after effects of this. I love a grapefruit-based juice. And when I make my juice and when I do my juice, I try to stick with the same juice for the entire week. So therefore, if I have any reaction to it, or if I see any kind of amazing results, I know particularly which juice did it, right? And so grapefruit juice, that really wakes up my body. I need to clean off my spectacles. And how do you guys like the lashes? My daughter said the lashes are just popping. It makes my eyes pop. And my other daughter, who is a lash extraordinaire master cosmetologist, I finally got an appointment with her like everybody else. She's always so busy. I'm like, can mommy get some lashes? Hi there, Candace Ledbetter. Hi, Kim, I sent you a message. I hope we are meeting today for lunch at 1 o'clock. And I need some follow-up from a couple other people. I was supposed to be out on location this morning at 9 o'clock, but don't you love when you get a revised itinerary? And I could have either gone back to bed, which I probably really needed to do because I was out so late this morning. Thank you. The lashes are popping, right? We need to do a lash day. I'm gonna get with her and do it. I'll do a lash day. But I saw the itinerary and it changed from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And so that means we have time for a quick breakfast with DryerBuzz. And guys, on Facebook, I'm also just above you creating this live on YouTube. And I want to show, because I am a blogger, I want to show you where that goes and how I utilize it. I always love to share about how I'm utilizing these tools, because most of you ask me. That's why I wrote the book that's up here, 27 Answers to Create Buzz. So let me just tell you a little bit about how I'm creating buzz now. And I'm loving these hearts and thumbs and everything. And oh my God, you guys are so wonderful and amazing. All right, so we're running our YouTube channel. And what I did was I went to YouTube and I started my live video, but I saved that. I always add that video to a playlist called DryerBuzz Live. Therefore, those who are on DryerBuzz.com, as they're browsing, they can see that we are live and they can stop and watch. And you know me, I'm pretty consistent with going live. I'm pretty consistent with my videos and my content. So all they had to do was, and depending on if you're on your desktop, which we're going to talk about that today, because we really need to talk about this digital divide. And you know, that's been my life's work, closing the digital divide for the past 30 years. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm glad Leonard Jones is here, because we really need to talk about where we are as far as smartphone only internet access. Whenever there is a report that comes out, we need to talk about it. So in order to create buzz for DryerBuzz going live, yes, I'm live on Facebook and I'm engaging with you guys and I'm saying hello to Karen and as people come in and comments, but I'm also creating a YouTube video right above. And so in that YouTube video, I have a playlist on my website, my base camp. I have a playlist that says Watch DryerBuzz Live. So when I go live on YouTube, I add that video to that playlist and it's automatically appearing in the embed here on the website, okay? You can do the same with your Facebook Live and your Periscope. If you create a hashtag simply for your live streaming, you can use both Twitter or Facebook to include an embed on your website or any other site. And one of the reasons you want to do that is because ain't no revenue share on Twitter and Facebook yet. Okay, I'm gonna say yet because Mark Zuckerberg could wake up and say, hey, I need to share some of these billions of dollars. He ain't said it yet, but YouTube has always been a site for revenue share. And a lot of people just got their YouTube check. So shout out to all y'all. So if I wanted to pull my live stream from Periscope or Facebook, I would then create a widget and put that in my sidebar, a post or a page or anything like that. So whenever I went live, and based on that, either searching that hashtag or pulling that content, I could also put that content on there as well. And I may just do that because I do go live more often on Facebook, and I'm trying to make myself go live more often on YouTube. The difference with going live on YouTube is they watch it pretty much after the fact. The live engagement is not necessarily there until you develop that behavior within your viewers and within your audience, right? So I am back now developing the behavior in my subscribers that we are going to go live on YouTube and as well as on DryerBuzz.com. Of course, naturally, I want, and I'm going to check some of these comments. Hello, my Cali people. So in my sidebar, I have a couple of my video channels that I have. And then I also do a particular post depending on it. I said the topic I want us to talk about today. Yesterday, I did a YouTube live, and it's called It's All Blogging. And that one, hey, Deborah, very informative. Thank you for sharing. I'm always sharing. And I get a lot of negative feedback from sharing, but I love sharing with people. And I don't want to say I get a lot of it because I don't really pay attention to it, but I love serving people. That's why I'm able to do what I'm doing. That's why I'm blessed the way I am. And that's the reward that I get from it. So what I want to talk about, yesterday I did a YouTube video on how to source for facts, especially in this era of alternative facts, especially in this era of fake news and so forth and reblogging, right? I hope I have enough. Oh, let me show you guys this for Breakfast with DryerBuzz. While live streaming yesterday, y'all had me try out this devil egg recipe. I was trying to duplicate, it still smells so good. I was trying to duplicate some devil eggs that I had at an event, But those eggs were made from a sriracha recipe by a real chef, and I didn't come close. It looks like it, doesn't necessarily taste like it. And so basically we experimented with some flavors, because just rather than your basic devil egg, we started grabbing stuff out of the cabinet and throwing in. And it's not distasteful. It's actually pretty tasteful. Not that I would ever duplicate it again, but I did take it to another level. So for those of you that want to see, I did take it. Now, will I eat one in front of you guys? I'm afraid of what my facial expression might show. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's very flavorful, because we did put a lot of flavors in it. But you know how your mind just wants that basic devil egg, and then I got all these other flavors in there with it. What I should have done, you know how the last thing you add in, it probably should have been the first and the only thing you add in. The consistency I was trying to get to, I didn't get to it until I grabbed some Southwest ranch dressing. Now, I despise ranch dressing, but I got a daughter up in here. She got every kind of ranch dressing in the fridge. And so I saw that Southwest. It's actually pretty good, y'all. Okay. I can't even describe the flavor, I guess, except for Southwest ranch. So let's just call them Southwest ranch deviled eggs. Certainly not the sriracha. I know, right? And next thing you know, you've been ate a whole carton of eggs. I certainly can't call them the sriracha eggs. I did put a little heat in it. Smoked paprika. We used our Dr. Flavor Spices Creole, a Creole blend. And then we used, and that, we put some sour cream in it. But you needed some oil or some kind of consistency, something that what they call it, your thickener, your binder. I really needed a binder, and so that's when I grabbed the Southwest. I guess it was called Southwest Ranch. Okay, I am going to try it. Yeah. So, but the thing about the shortcuts in the kitchen and getting to that popping flavor, go for the dressings. Take the dressings and add in your flavor to that and stir it up. Because if you can't make different sauces from scratch, a lot of the flavor can be achieved by taking some of the salad dressing. I mean, they've already done the work. Yeah, we want to make it from scratch. Good morning, everybody. Yes, we want to make it from scratch and really and so forth, but take the easy way out. Take the step. As long as it's not in a can, okay? But this juice is to die for. Okay. So back to what I want to talk about this morning. There's a lot that I could talk about this morning on Breakfast with DryerBuzz. And this particular, guys, you are watching Breakfast with DryerBuzz. Yesterday, I was showing my audience how I go out and find news items that I want to talk about. In this era of fake news, alternative facts, and so forth, I like to blog from a factual standpoint. People like to say there's two sides to every story. No, there's one side to a story, absolutely one side, and that's the truth and the facts. Now, there are many different experiences based on our experiences we've had in life. Sometimes we can't see the truth or the facts. Sometimes we balk at the facts. And it's always funny how some people love to have their side of an agenda or their opinion, and you give them the facts and they can't truly absorb it because they want to just stay where they are. You know, we have to learn to lead people in their ignorance. We have to learn to lead it. When you realize you can't bring a person forward, you have to leave them there. What they said, Maya Angelou says, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. But see, somebody has to come behind that and say, and leave them. Believe them and leave them. Because you're going to waste so much of your time, so much of your energy when there are people that are waiting for you to say the next thing or do the next thing because they are following you. And in this era of social media and live streaming, you have no idea who's watching. You have no idea who's following. My mentor always says, Yolanda, you either lead, you follow, or you just get the F out the way. It's very simply those three things. And so if you're wondering about whether or not you are constructively progressing or helping something progress along, you have to ask yourself, am I leading? Am I the leader? Am I the follower? And that whilst his behind right up in this See, look at God. This is what I tell you guys. When you are on your purpose, you're going to get your back up. When you are on your purpose, brother James, Baba James Adams out of Chicago. First of all, the fact that I just said he's out of Chicago authenticates everything that I just said and everything I'm about to repeat. Just came up in the room. See, and here he is up there in Chicago. I hope he's still in Chicago. Then got the message. Probably some ancestor that whispered to him, said, go get in Yolanda Street. Help her out. Help her out. She's trying to help these folks. Okay. His wisdom, which you have seen, believe it or not, in a number of quote unquote leaders out there. That brother right there, y'all, as a young kid, you hear people all day, every day talk about Emmett Till. But that brother right there was one of the young men up in Chicago where their family said, come on, I got to show you something so that you don't repeat this history. And all of these young men in Chicago, when you hear about what happened to Emmett Till, when you hear that Emmett Till's body was put on display, not on display, but for the viewing in Chicago, parents took their young kids and to see Emmett Till and told them the story of what had happened to Emmett Till. Because just like we have to tell our sons and daughters today to be careful out there, their parents had to tell them and show them what it meant to be careful out there. He was one of the young men who had to make that passage across the viewing into and out of the viewing of Emmett Till. So that within him sparked something that he has carried forth with him, a sword, a strength that is it's just, I don't even know how to describe it, but to carry that all of your life and to stop whatever whom will give you an ear, whomever will listen, whomever will allow you to pour into them. And that is what he has done with his life. And I thank him so much for that, because there I was at once upon a time trying to figure out, what do I do with all of this? What do I do with this knowledge base that I have about technology? You know, in Atlanta, I spent a lot of my time, you know, being the first African-American woman in a number of offices, entities, Fortune 500 companies, trying to move them forward with technology. And at the same time, I wanted to, can I use this to kind of pick up where Ida B. Wells left off? And they go, well, why you want to do that? Because I want to free some folk, right? You know, like Harriet Tubman said, I could have buzzed about a whole lot of people if they had just known they were buzzworthy. This brother was working on a case out of Texas, living in Chicago, helping it with a case that was out of Texas. And I was like, the only thing I know how to do is I know how to conduct a podcast. If I can do a podcast for y'all to get the word out about this case, that's what I'll do. But his thing was, Yolanda, you are either the leader, the follower, or you just need to get the F out the way. And I have to tell people that every day. And in fact, I had to tell somebody that this morning. They come trying to debate about the kneeling and trying to use that Republican radio rhetoric. Is it sparking monetary donations? Is it sparking volunteering? The mere fact that you just jumped your ass up in this discussion tells you that it is sparking something. There was a discussion for you to come and be the devil's advocate, to be the opposer, to be the oppressor in the conversation. That in and of itself should tell you it has sparked something. It tells you that I've taken time out of my day to have the discussion in order for you to come into. And then you're going to ask, well, does it spark anything? How blind can you be? You're only blinded by your bias. And let me just go ahead and tell you, my sister, it's a racist and a prejudice. I don't know how else to understand it. Well, I just want to have a discussion. No, you need not have the discussion, because I can't move you from it. You have shown me who you are. And as I said, Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. The other part of that lesson that we don't seem to get is leave them. Believe them and leave them. If you cannot bring people forward, you leave them. If they're not going to get the F out your way, you need to boot them on out of the way. I have to leave her where she is. I cannot spend another minute. Wearing pink ain't, that's the conversation right there. Wearing pink ain't never stopped 1 in 8 women from being diagnosed with breast cancer, but we're all the way. But see, the thing that I say, Tiffany, to that, the fact that we have to keep coming up and keep explaining why it is we want to simply save our lives. These people are arguing with us because we very simply want to save our lives and the lives of our children. Black women in healthcare. Now, I didn't want to go into the fact that, okay, you want to talk cancer? I just buried my mother, okay? I just had a 3-year battle with the healthcare system to try to get them to understand there's some other things going on here. There's some other priorities. Judge Hatchett is right now on a mission, who just lost her daughter-in-law in childbirth. You're talking about we now have that the numbers are now growing again with Black women in childbirth in this country where we have the advance of it's crazy. Now here we are talking about saving lives, and yet they want to dilute the conversation, deflate the conversation, and distract the conversation. Right? I'm so sorry. Yes, caregiver. Yes, I'm sorry if you didn't know. Yeah, I just buried my mother September 14th. So here I am. I have to wake up on my day when I'm trying to lend myself in service to somebody else, and you come on the, well, it doesn't spark monetary donations. It costs me to. I'm on a very expensive internet connection right now. I've been hosting this website for 16 years. That comes with an annual expense. Okay. In fact, that you can't see the expenses, I'm getting ready to fill up my car with gas, go and cover events, stop by a restaurant that's trying to get off the ground, that's grand opening. I mean, blogging, yeah, it's fun, but I'm not just blogging about the good stuff. I blog also about justice. So before I go and have a nice lunch at the restaurant, I'm going over to meet with probably 2 or 3 communities that are meeting with police today. It's called Coffee and a Cop, and the cops are saying, well, how do we? Because you know what the media doesn't show you is that President Barack Obama started an initiative called, see, I got to go with facts, not alternative facts. President Barack Obama, one of his initiatives, well, thank you so much. President Obama, one of his initiatives was called 21st Century Policing. You can go out here right now on C-SPAN. You can watch every piece of video of every meeting and hearing and that they had. There's also a documentary on YouTube called The Law of the Gun, where America, in recognizing that there's some cops out there killing people, sent their top cops outside the United States of America to go and learn this. You heard Jesse Williams say de-escalation at the BET Awards, and it was the first time a lot of us had heard the absolute language we need to use in order to have this debate. Well, he got that language because top cops in America, we're talking about police chiefs on down to precinct majors and all of this, were sent outside of this country. I ain't got to tell you about it. I can show you. Hold on. It's called The Law of the Gun. Our president, not the current president, met with all of the police chiefs. They have a meeting, they have a convention they go to just like everybody else. And Barack Obama spoke at that. Now, we didn't see that flashed all across the news. And he spoke to them. Everyone know, what did the president do? Stop waiting for it to be on the news, okay? It's not that they hide it. The media doesn't show things they only show stuff that's going to pique your emotions. Hardwire, The Law of the Gun is a documentary. And in this documentary, there's a very key piece there. Let me make sure that this is the right one. Okay, yeah, this is about 40 minutes. I'm going to see if I can jump to, it's already on the part that I was watching. This video right here is so shocking, but you have to watch it because there is some resolve. There is this right here, oh my God. In this documentary is a lot of, this is the part.
Strangely enough, I don't know why. No one said no. But I don't know that they would have said yes.
Chuck has convinced 25 police chiefs from major departments across America to travel with him.
Hold on.
Chuck has convinced 25 police chiefs.
He convinced 25 police chiefs from America to travel with him to Scotland. Hopefully you guys can see this. They went to Scotland because in Scotland, not every police officer gets a gun.
But I don't know that they would have said yes had we not had this past year. In other words, had there not been one incident after another,
Your police chief saying, had there not been one incident after another.
Major Boston Police Department to run, or New York, or Chicago or, you know, wherever, Los Angeles, all the places they carry. Scotland sounds interesting. I'd love to come, but I'm very busy. They dropped what they had to do. It's that significant. They dropped what they had to do to be here.
I'm gonna fast forward because there's a this is it.
Someone's got their hands in their pocket. Why do we need to resolve that?
Sergeant Jim Young trains hundreds of new recruits each year at Scotland's Police Academy.
I know in America you had a 21-foot rule. This is slightly different. We actually don't have one. We don't. Oh, sorry. I apologize. I'm aware of the point we said in the past. Yes, sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Some departments do have a 21-foot rule. With all
21-foot rule. Check this out.
That's what we teach in the academy. So whether you like to say it's a rule or not, it's become the platform for our whole use of force. And that's really
This is the rule. That 21-foot rule is the rule that police officers in America conveniently overlook.
Just sitting in a chair, you know, holding the knife, and I walk up, you know, within 5 feet of that person. The person didn't approach me, I approached that person. So, you know, that's what we're talking to cops now about, you know, let's not create the moment where deadly force has to be used.
It's Friday night in Glasgow.
See, these are facts, not alternative facts, not how you feel, not what you're afraid of. This is what's in the training, but why doesn't the training work? So these 25 top cops from America went on patrol with Iceland Police Department. Not every cop gets a gun in Iceland.
he's kicking the front door in.
I'm going to fast forward. I want you guys to hear this conversation after they went on just one night out with them. He was like, we can do so much better. I'm trying to get to the part where they where they gunned down this guy. It's just absolutely brutal, y'all. It's absolutely brutal. It's so sad. So sad.
There's always that key. Look, you know, as far as guns is concerned, America has a very different situation, and we did not come to Scotland to ask Scotland to help us deal with guns.
Man with a knife.
Police Scotland officers
No guns.
from armed suspects and use their vehicles for cover.
They use their vehicles, batons.
In many parts of America, things will be handled differently.
2 cops. He said in America, that guy's getting shot. Did you see that? He says, I'm sorry, YouTube. He said in America, that guy's getting shot. But yet, look how they are able to subdue, de-escalate that situation.
We will probably pull a gun.
Somebody, he would throw it at you, we pull a gun. Why are they so quick to go to the gun?
How does society over here think about you shooting someone with a rock? They would not accept it.
So they're talking.
He says, so how would society think about you shooting somebody with a rock?
You get a group of police departments like this, and then they start doing it, and they code of ethics.
Let me see if I can find this.
Share
Here we go.
um,
Baltimore,
case, a bar soap.
a bar soap.
But at the same time, my son's.
I want you to let me go right back. I think this is the part I want you guys to see.
To my county executive, how the hell?
He said he's tired of explaining to his
Between 2 and 3 officers.
he's tired of explaining how one of his officers has just shot somebody umpteen times. They had a bar soap.
the same time, my son's in jail. I don't want the kid busted up, scarred up, out of work, lose a job.
The nepotism, in the police force, you got the entire family become police, and nothing's wrong with that.
Better effective communication or strategies, tactical strategies to deal with someone in a volatile situation. Nobody's going to die from learning de-escalation techniques. And so there's I'm forgetting half the things, but there's
It's called The Law of the Gun. The Law of the Gun. It's a documentary on YouTube.
We have to instill in our troops that I don't want to put policy.
Daytona Beach.
We're going to train to de-escalate. We're going to make sure that you're safe, and by ensuring that you, my officers, report off safely at night, you're going to ensure that the public reports off safely. That's something one of you guys said. Whether they report off safely to jail or to a mental institution or however it works, we're going to do our best to get them to that position.
Back in Richmond, California, the officers are responding to reports of a man.
And it was something for me to watch. I'm not gonna play any more of that, but definitely I suggest if you're going to be in this discussion, hey Dad, if you're going to be in the discussion, go get the facts, go get the stats, go to watch 25. And see, you would think that in America nothing's been done, nobody's talking about it. You hear that all the time. The Law of the Gun documentary on YouTube. Yes, you would always think that, you always feel like nobody's doing this. But at the same time, this was an initiative. Somebody paid for that. 25 police chiefs from around America. I mean, we got 50 states, 25 top cops went to Iceland to learn de-escalation techniques, because in Iceland, not every police officer gets a gun. You've got to learn how to de-escalate a situation using other tools, and their goal is that everybody goes home safe. Like you said, whether you end up going to jail or a mental institution, the officers are going home safe, the citizens are going home safe. And you saw those two people de-escalate a situation when a man had a knife. First thing they did was went for his visual. They took away his vision. And I don't know if that was either a pepper spray or whatever. Then those two officers subdued him, and 4 of them carried away. So that meant that 2 other officers was watching their back. Everybody didn't rush in. Everybody didn't grab their gun. They didn't shoot the man 100 times, which is what happens to us. They didn't go in with all hell on war of aggression, right? They had techniques that they were able to apply. Now, our police force went over there and learned these techniques. And now, okay, guess what? It's probably going to take about 20 years for them to get whatever funding so they can go back and retrain some of these officers. It's not just about retraining officers, because not every officer is putting on their uniform and going out there killing. So what they also need to do is to learn how, you're cops. You're supposed to be able to learn, you're supposed to know how to be able to profile a killer, whether he's dressed like you or not. That's supposed to be the one thing that you're supposed to be able to do, is prevent a crime. Okay, so if you're going to work every day and you can't prevent the crime of the criminal that's right there with you, riding with you, clocking in with you, if you can't prevent that criminal, no wonder we have so much crime going on our streets. So I'm just saying, go and watch it. If you're going to be in the discussion, at least go get the information to arm yourself. One thing I love about Jesse Williams' BET acceptance speech is that it did give us the language, and in using that language, I was like, where did he get that language from? Because he used the techniques, and I went out there and I looked for the language, which was de-escalation. One of the things he says, our police force are able to use the techniques of de-escalation with white criminals each and every day. Okay, but not us. So I went out there looking for where did he get that language, and that's how I came across this documentary called The Law of the Gun. And in the documentary, and I didn't find it, but in this documentary, you get a chance to see President Obama. That looked like him right there, but no. Somewhere in here, I don't know if it's part of the intro or not. Let me see.
If I have to take another individual's life to protect my life, to protect my partner's life, or to protect an innocent citizen, or both. See,
this one right here was just, listen to the gunfire. Now, when they went to Iceland, there was no rapid gunfire in any of the cases, in any of the shadowing that they did. I'm trying to find the part with President Obama.
His life, officer
It's not impossible for you to react quickly enough.
Chuck has discovered that unarmed police officers in some parts of the UK routinely face violent suspects armed with knives and sharp weapons.
Watch this.
Look at the distance. Look how close.
Look at the distance.
And he's coming at them with machete.
Yeah, the guy has a machete,
Look
and the
at-
officers have no guns.
Look how many. There must be 20. And they just surround him with their shields.
They just take him out, take out the suspect with their shields. Nobody drew a gun on this suspect that had a machete.
You know,
Really, what's been the debate for the last year.
the fact is, you gotta base it on the behavior of the person with the knife. The person with the knife's just sitting in a chair, you know, holding the knife.
Okay, I was trying to find a little piece on Barack Obama, but you know, and I don't know if I guess it was meant for me to talk about that. Hello, everybody, Keith and Tawana. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. I got to get ready to roll across town, but I want to just drop a little bit of what we're going to be blogging about this week. I went out and checked again. See, it says facts. I went out and checked the facts and the stats on, you know, I blogged a lot about the convenience economy, the gig economy, and how we're closing the digital divide. And while we're proud to say that we have absolutely closed the digital divide, there's something to it that we're not seeing some increases. You know, when you think about the fact that everybody has access to technology, and y'all don't go to YouTube and watch a documentary like The Law of the Gun to understand what's going on in our police force and where we need to be in a stance or our position, or to get some talking points. When I see people who can't come up with the talking points to combat or counter, thought that was my phone, or counter all of this stuff that we have to deal with on a daily basis, and you have access to it on your phone, and you don't go and get that, and then therefore we're losing the war of debate, which actually become the war of laws being made. When you see something on the news, it's not just on the news. Somebody's going to end up debating that under the gold dome, and this is where laws come from. It's not going to be on the news unless somebody wants to use it to create laws or to take away laws, and laws means freedoms, right? Hey, Dr. Henry Carter, great video you did yesterday. So I went out to look and see what kind of reports were out there. If you think about, we closed the digital divide in 2015, meaning that any and everybody, regardless of class, economic status, could have access to technology. Then you want to see, well, okay, 2 years later from 2015, we're almost here at the end of 2017. There should have been some things that happened. One, there should have been a major increase in some prioritizing of our community, of who we are. Everybody should have, with access to technology, everybody should have been able to kind of elevate their livelihood just even a little bit. There's so much out there when you talk about improving the quality of life. Having 2 years of technology, you should have been able to improve the quality of your life to some degree. And if at the end of 2017, you can't show that, see that, feel that, live with, like, say, for instance, if we closed the digital divide in 2015, I was then able to take my publishing to the next level of from the first book to now having 9 additional digital publications to go along with that. I can then say that after 2 years of you having a device to consume that information, it changed my livelihood. I've been able to go into the caregiver mode. Had that revolution, had we not closed that digital divide, I would not have been able to formulate the lifestyle that I needed to be a caregiver for my mother. If I was still out there trying to get y'all to go to DryerBuzz.com because you don't have broadband at home, or figure out a way to get it to you when we had to publish it on CD, we had to print it out, we had to fax it to folks, the website, because we didn't have the priority of having broadband, right? The issue is what information are they accessing exactly with that technology. Black women are the higher commitment. I hope I'm reading that right. Video content. Yeah, we are consumers of video content. Go read the Nielsen report. It tells all about it. Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. Not necessarily the Nielsen report, because what these two kind of compete. Nielsen report and then the Pew reports. Pew reports, this is information that goes specifically to the media. Nielsen report is information that's consumed by companies and so forth. And so it's kind of the same information. So what you have with this one, this is the information, like when you hear stats and facts on the news, this is where they go to get that information. And you're absolutely right, because I'm looking at it. It says smartphones help Blacks, Hispanics bridge some, but not all, digital gaps with whites. Now, I always try to leave out the with whites part. No problem. I understand you trying to get it out. I always try to leave out the with whites part because I think it takes some of us out of the conversation, because we shouldn't always compare ourselves to white America, because, in all essence, we kind of surpassed that. We surpassed what, quote unquote, is the American dream, or which is where we want to get to. So what we have to do at this point is go back to our community and see where we are within 2 years of anybody on any economic level having access to technology. This report goes on to tell us if that African Americans are in this era of smartphone only. And the language, again, we look particularly to the language. I have it highlighted right here. Smartphones help bridge the gaps of internet access, but then they go to break down, what does this mean if you're smartphone only internet users? They lack traditional home broadband service, but do own a smartphone. By comparison, and again, it goes on. It's like there's always that comparison of everybody to white America. We have to stop that. We just have to stop that. But I'm reading the report, but I'm looking at the numbers, and it's not skewed. I mean, if you look at the graph, it's not a huge variance to this. It just says that in 2 years of us having this technology, our priority levels didn't necessarily grow, right? You can say, Black women are using social media the most and the most hours, and we're consuming the most content, but are we creating the apps? Because there are people out there. I've met a young man who was a high school dropout, is now worth $500 million because he dropped out of high school to focus on an app, okay? And then became probably a billionaire by now, because when I say that was like a year ago. There's no telling where he is right now. So, but we still don't have the priority level. You can't go out there and you can't put your hands on somebody who received funding that was overwhelmingly supported by women. Because when you go look at the data on crowdfunding, it says that women will donate money on sad issues and things like that, but men are still primarily the funders when it comes to business and innovation. Women are just not there yet. We're still on that consumer level. And you can get you can get 50 girlfriends to go to lunch and brunch with you, but then when you talk to them about an idea or funding an idea, they're gonna tell you, don't try it. Don't do it. Let's just go to brunch, okay? Let's just go to somebody else's brunch. And case in point, I saw somebody on Facebook, and they probably blocked me at this point. They put a post out there, said, please share a conference or an event that you're going to go to and not your girlfriends. And I just I'm sorry, but all my money is earmarked for my girlfriends. And they put shaking my head. And I'm like, really? How are we friends? How do we know each other? I don't know. So, but anyway, as is true of the population more broadly, smartphones play an especially prominent role in providing online access to Blacks and Hispanics with relatively low household incomes. Only around half of Blacks and Hispanics from households earning less than $30,000 per year have traditional broadband service at home. But 63% of Blacks and 69% of Hispanics in this income brackets are smartphone owners. So that's why I say that we know that to the tune of 85 to 99%, we close the digital divide as far as smartphone ownership. But what they go on to say, they go on to look at, well, at what point during the month is your service off? It's in the report. It talks about that in comparison to a majority society. While you may have a smartphone, is there a period of time that your service is off? Yes, because everything that we do is being studied, y'all. And it says, and then there's another one, like it says, and Blacks and Hispanics alike express pronounced interest in getting training that would help improve their digital skills. Some 46% of Blacks, 48% of Hispanics say training to help them become more confident in using computers, smartphones, and the internet would help a lot in terms of making important decisions And then there's a comparison. I won't do the comparison. Another key issue that I saw in here, mobile devices play an outsized role for Blacks and Hispanics when it comes to their online access options. About 2 in 10 Hispanics, 22% and 15% of Blacks are smartphone-only internet users, meaning that if you run a website and you're looking at your website, and this is something you should be monitoring, not on your social media, but if you have a website, like say for instance, what I did over the 16 years of having DryerBuzz.com, when I first started, the viewership on the website used to cut off at 6 p.m. because everybody was reading it while they were at work because they did not have either a desktop situation or broadband at home. Then it went from 6 p.m. Then it started cutting off at 9 p.m., meaning that they did have it. They were going somewhere else to access it. Then came the 24-hour. Once the 24-hour cycle came in, we saw then, and you guys will remember, it wasn't that they were going home getting on the broadband. It was because people were on their smartphones and they were accessing it 24 hours. But as you can see, if you are on any website, be it Facebook, that means that there is that 2 in 10 out there have never ever seen a desktop version of Facebook. Okay, they don't know what a sidebar is because they've only been able to scroll the grids of the mobile devices. And you and I both know if you go to a website and you go view that website on a desktop version, I look at all this information over here on the side that you're not going to get in a mobile version. Same thing with DryerBuzz.com. Whereas you go to DryerBuzz.com, there are those on the desktop that know that they can watch these videos and watch live, and I can interact with them live. I can't do that on the mobile version because of where it's going to be located in that. So it means that you're only getting half of the information. And it means that you only have the priorities to even get half of that half of information. So that's a whole lot of misinformation. So if you are smartphone only, you probably only experiencing about 20% of this internet life. You're still missing 80%. If you hear, you know who they are because they always out here talking about their cord cutters. They don't have internet. I'm like, I still don't understand. And I keep trying to say, I don't understand. How are you a cord cutter? You know, I don't have cable. Okay, but cable is the least part of the expense of having broadband and internet in your household. So if you don't have, you're not like everybody else paying $100, less or more for internet access. That means that you're only experiencing about 20% of the 100% of this lifestyle. You're missing 80%. So when I hear a person say that, oh, I'm a cord I can't even say it, cord cutter. I tried cutting the cord. But once I called and said, can you take my phone off and my cable off? They were like, okay, well, the phone is only $10. Hell, the cable is only $30. You still got to pay $70 a month or more for the broadband. And then I don't want the light speed. I need the extra speed because I got to live stream on 2 devices and run a website and run other websites for other people. I need 99% of the information. No, I need 80%, 20% of it. I don't even want to see. Like them challenges that's going on. I don't want to see that. But I need the other 80%. So if you are smartphone only, you're probably only getting about 20%, which is why you can wake up in your morning and say, nobody's talking about this and nobody's doing anything about that, because you can't access the information because they're on platforms that you can't access just on your phone, right? Okay, if you're getting everything on Facebook or everything on one platform or this, you're not getting it all if you can't access it. That's why you probably not seeing the full-on conversation about not only what's going on that little stuff that you see on the news, but 21st century policing, knowing that 25 cops were sent to Scotland to learn de-escalation techniques. And when they came back, the numbers are decreasing. Yes, there's a way to be involved in public safety, which I need to get out of here because I need to go get involved with public safety. But these are just some of the things that we talk about on Breakfast with DryerBuzz. And this is why at the end of my day, people are always coming up to me saying, I never thought about it that way. That's my goal. Whenever you watch a piece of my video or you read a blog post or you look at something I done said on Facebook and you take it back like, I never thought about it that way. That's my goal because that's what I hear each and every day. I never thought about it that way. So if you're smartphone only, you're not going to think about it that way. You're not going to get it, right? That's why I have people coming up to me damn near a decade later and said, my God, you were right about this technology. The combination with AT&T charged $225 a month for satellite phone internet. That is almost $3,000 annually. But the thing about it is when you look at that $3,000 annually, yes, I pay that, but I reimburse it. I reimburse it by monetizing. I'm talking to you guys on Facebook live streaming. I can't monetize this. I also have the YouTube running right here behind you that immediately when somebody watches that YouTube, it's going to help reimburse that. And one thing we have to think about Dr. Henry Carter in our community, and you mentioned it yesterday in the video, follow Dr. Henry Carter. He did an awesome video about some things that are going down in the block. And if you have never witnessed the Nation of Islam coming to Atlanta, see, you're not going to get this on your news. The news didn't run over there and tell y'all that annually the Nation of Islam comes to Atlanta. And most of them at their home base, I think for their conventions, either the Sheraton, downtown. And while they're here, they go over to the Bluff, right? They're not just going around to having dinners at all the hotels. They go over to the Bluff, utilizing African-American services to get there. They go over to the Bluff. They walk that community. They invest in that community. And he showed you not one, but two, maybe three entities, four, maybe five entities that they have over there. One is, what do you call it, 10,000? There's a building he said I watched. There's a building he said was 10,000, which is over there. It's giving all kind of resources. There's a restaurant. And let me tell you, you ever want to roll down, I'm the first person to tell you that Joseph Lowry and the estate of Joseph Boone need to go over there to that intersection and either take down their names or to make sure that communities where their names are on these streets, that they're very well represented. And when you get to that intersection, it ain't changed in 50 years. And it makes no sense that it is that way. And they're going to be real upset when the gentrification comes down, because if you go another block, that's where your 10,000 professional development, and then there's a grocery store opening over there today, I believe you said, right? And then there's a restaurant that they have over there. Let me tell you something. Roll down Joseph E. Boone, which used to be Simpson Street, Simpson Avenue, Simpson. It used to be Simpson, just put it that way, okay? Right around the corner from the Dome. It's Charles Disco and all of that used to be over there. Roll down that street today, Farrakhan's coming. Wow. And I think I even have a Periscope out there because I rode down. In fact, I took half of them over there in the lift, right? And it was absolutely, no, let me tell you. I'll tell you how I first found out about it. There were some people in the community that knew that the Nation of Islam was coming, and so therefore they were trying to get out the community before. And I went to go I had a pickup over there, and this guy, honey, he was trying to get in that car so fast because he wasn't quite right, and he was trying to get off of that block because he was embarrassed that he wasn't quite right, and in the lifestyle that he had in that area. And he was trying to get away, and he was dealing with some stuff because they had rolled up with services and all these kind of things. And it was interesting that he was trying to leave the area at the time all of these services that he could have taken advantage of was going on, but he did not want them to see him. I don't know if somebody was going to recognize him or what and where he was in his lifestyle. But because of his lifestyle, he was trying to leave the area. But at the same time, watching the faces of the community with these people rolling in, and I mean they're undeniable. You can't not recognize what's going on. It's a beautiful scene to see that many people on the block, and they go over there as a day of service when they do come for their convention. And of course, there's some big thing, everybody goes to hear Farrakhan speak and all these kind of things. But when they do come, their day of service is spent over in the Bluff. And it's good to see that there's also economic development, because I mean, this intersection is actually the back intersection to the AU Center. It's the same corridor, and it's now named after Joseph Lowry and Joseph Boone. Okay, and it's interesting that it's the intersection of two Josephs, and the one Joseph that everybody knows had to be the most forgiving man on the planet, and that was because his wife's baby daddy was God. Just saying. So I just wish that the families or the entities of those two men would go into that community and not just put the name. It's not enough, y'all, of us to just put the name on the block. We gotta back it up. We have got to back it up. And that's just all I'm saying. And one of the reasons we end up with these debates with people where people can come to us while we're trying to save our lives and talk about a flag. And you have to turn around and tell them, see, it was your concern for that flag versus the concern for the life is why you lost the first war. You just have to say that and don't blink. See, it was your concern for that flag and not the concern for the lives is the reason you lost the first war. And you really don't want to start another one. I'm just saying. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. This has been Breakfast with DryerBuzz. And again, we're working on, as I said, something I have worked on for the past 30 years is closing the digital divide. While in 2015, we did close the digital divide when it came to smartphone ownership. But you can't just want to get your smartphone to be on Facebook. You can't just want to get your smartphone to be on social media. You need to stop. I need everybody that's going to see this video, everybody that has any kind of influence, even just for your family, sit down with your family and say to your family, okay, we've had this technology for 2 years. Believe it or not, most people have only had it for 2 years. And there's nothing wrong with that. Never late, never late. But in the last 2 years, from 2015 to 2017, where was your growth? Where was your improvement? Did you up level your income? Did you up level? Were you able to prioritize and organize a little bit more so that you can spend more time together as a family? Can you get your family together, right? And cut off the Wi-Fi when y'all do that and sit down. Look at your kids. Has their reading level? Did they 10x their reading level? Let's talk about some 10x and stuff, right? Did your children with having because kids and babies and swiping and all this kind of stuff, did you see a 5x or a 10x, 2x, 5x, or 10x? Where was the growth in the past 2 years of having access to this technology? Did you start a YouTube channel? I still have parents telling me they don't want their kids on technology, don't want their kids on these phones. Well, kids telling me that kids' skills pay parents' bills. Hell, look at Cardi B. Cardi B, what she said, I don't dance no more. I make money moves. That she paying her mama's bills. I mean, and all she did was go and build her following on social media. Ain't had to go and sign no major music deal, but she got a #1. And not only that, she got a little bit of sense. She ain't doing it trying to be all naked. In fact, she did a video the other day, and her new boobs was all out. She kept closing her shirt up while she was talking. And if you know, did y'all notice that? You got to notice these things, and you got to say to young people, okay, yeah, that's how you do. Because I mean, she could have been out there, had the cleavage all out there, you know. But no, if you notice in the video, she kept closing her shirt, right? The single most important element needed to create harmony in our universe is control of our communication. Pinky and the brain. When you take over the world, any essence of taking over the world, the first thing you have to do is take over the communication. That is the art of war. Art of war starts with taking over the communication. But see, the thing, Tiffany, that people don't understand about Cardi B is her why. They don't understand what her why. When you realize her why, it's, you know, I mean, her conversation, I'm like, listen to her conversation, I'm like, wow. So that's the part of, you have to disrupt. You have to interrupt the broadcast. Have you ever heard that? Interrupt the broadcast. That's how you take over the world. You know, that's why people, when I get up and they like watching my first tweet, and I'm telling you, producers of television shows and radios, they're trying to figure out how's she gonna change the narrative today. I heard her say she loves history. Okay. Yes, Tiffany said her ass can tell you about the New Deal. Okay, she said her videos. Go and watch her videos. It's interesting because that's where some of our young people are. But if you don't, if you can see they grasp about 20%. So you got to help them open up to get to that 80%. 80% is awesomely wonderful. Okay, so again, look at yourself, look at your family. And from 2015 to 2017, I'm not even saying go all the way back. Just from 2015, the end of the smartphone migration, which started about 2008. You can go over here. There's a whole on Pew Research. There's a whole data set to tell you that. Let me see. And this report was conducted in 2016. Roughly eight, and we're gonna talk about, let's see, report owning a desktop or laptop computer compared with 66% of Blacks and 60% of Hispanics own desktops. 66 of Blacks and 60% of Hispanics have desktops in the home, but then less than that, there are also substantial racial or ethnic differences in broadband adoption. Blacks or Hispanics report having a broadband at home. There were not enough Asian respondents in the sampling because Asian is not going to give you their data. They're not going to answer the poll. They're not going to let you know their data. She left shook because she said, she left school because teachers treated her. Oh, why does she sound like that? But I'm from the South. I have what they call it, final consonant deletion. I never say the end of the word. But hey, you better try and listen. But despite these inequalities, Blacks and Hispanics have mobile devices such as smartphones and tablet computers. There are differences between Hispanics born in the United States and not, and 62% abroad. So basically what we're dealing with is this 2 in 10. 2 in 10, here we go, right here. About 2 in 10 Hispanics and Blacks are smartphone-only internet users, meaning they lack traditional home broadband services, but do own a smartphone. And so what that does, it means that you're not experiencing, that you're not going to technically have the growth. And this is what those of us that are active out here and activists and so forth, which is why we're not seeing the growth that's why within 2 years, we didn't see that these communities were able to 10X themselves. I'm only using that term because there are a lot of people in this arena. It's a buzzword, right? So if you were not able to 10X your lifestyle in some capacity, I was able to 10X my lifestyle in that I was able to spend the past 3 years as a caregiver, being able to be at home and write and provide digital content and make a living, reimbursing my expenses. I ain't gonna say earning an income. I'm just gonna say I was able to change up my priorities, reimburse my expenses, and enjoy the last 3 years of with my mother. And I was able to do that through my adoption of technology, having my broadband at home and on my devices, not being in smartphone only. I watch a Clark student write an entire paper on smartphone. Exactly. I mean, and you can do everything on. I mean, hell, I just blogged in fact, when I came back to my desktop, everything that I was working on from 2014 was still here on the desktop. My desk was piled this high with papers and bills and mail, and I just knocked it all off. And I said, let me go back to my desktop. Let me dust it off. I still got to get somebody to come over here, and I have the perfect person to refurbish my computer. I knocked it all off, and I recreated my space so that I can reboot my YouTube channel, reboot my live stream. And now I'm going to take in my grieving process of losing mom, I'm going to take this month, come back to you guys in November. Of course, I'll be live here on Breakfast with DryerBuzz. I'll be making some great juice. It's so good. Oh my God. And we'll be talking about this. This will be our next blog post. I'm going to continue to read this. If you want to know about this information, Henry, you should be on this information. James Adams should be on this information. Tiffany, you should specifically be on this information simply because it's a fact tank. It's called a fact tank. And basically, and I'll tell you what it does. I'm going to go to the home page here. It says, let me see if I can find their about. Where is the about? Let's go over here. I was looking for, it's in the Google. It's not on here. So basically, as a blogger, it has all topics on this publication. They call them publications, but they're monthly reports that come out. And those reports are filed under U.S. politics, media and news, social trends, religion, internet and tech, which is where I do a lot of my blogging from information from that, science. This tab right here used to say African Americans, but now it says Hispanics, okay? This tab right here says global. So now this tab, this Hispanic tab is going to change pretty soon because as you can see from the data that Blacks and Hispanics have not been able to 10x themselves. So all the concern America had about Blacks and Hispanics has changed over to immigrants. So I guarantee you this tab right here is going to change soon where they're going to start tracking the immigrants, right? And of course, Hispanics, was considered number one immigrants. But now, if you notice, they keep saying Asian. In fact, there is a report on here now that says right here, Asian Americans, a diverse and growing population. So that's where they have changed their focus. But one thing you better know is Asian Americans are giving them a very hard time. They're not answering the polls. They're not going to give you that data. If you remember, Asian Americans suffered also in Katrina. If you remember, if you watched any of those video, Asian Americans were there, but they took care of themselves. They're not going to give you their data. They're not going to jump in front of your camera. They're not going to answer your poll, but they're still watching it. So that's why I say that tab is going to change. So anytime you hear a stat or a fact in your news, this is usually comes from one of these reports. Here's a report right here about Behind the Badge, and it talks about how police feel about what's going on and how they're viewed in society. 10 demographics, intermarriage in the U.S., the narrowing but persistent gender gap. Despite gains, women remain underrepresented. Births in marriage, views of race and equality. Let's see, and these are just some of the more recent reports. And again, they call them reports. You have a section here that's called interactive. Look, the data on women leaders. Okay, interactive. What do police think? Here's another interactive. How Blacks and whites view the state of race in America. The American middle class. And that's one you really want to keep tabs on. Asians have created a situation where they don't need white folks, okay? And they do because they want them as customers, but that's it. They have their own bank, school, grocery store, brokerage, etc. Exactly. Are you American middle class? Do you know we have 4 levels of middle class? And it explains that. Voices of multiracial Americans. So when you hear about women leadership again, and so here's some of the other things. So this is where a lot of that information comes from. Let's see. This is what we are developing in Atlanta. You have to let me know more about that. All right, guys, I'm gonna say goodbye. We've been on here long enough. But when I'm getting ready to blog at DryerBuzz, this is where I kind of come and I look at some of the reports in 2 particular sections I pay attention to is media and news, social trends, and then also media, news, and internet. And then I also look at the social trends. When you click on the top, it's going to give you the publications, which are the various reports. And this information before the internet, you used to have to pay a whole lot of money to get these reports, but now they figured out another way to monetize, and so therefore they make them on there. See, I want Black people to really think about that whole monetize and reimbursement. Publications, topics, interactive data sets, experts. So whenever you go look at a report, I'm gonna go back over to the internet. I think we want internet. How people approach facts and information. This one is particular because there's something going on. How people absorb when you give them a fact. You know how you see there was Eric Erickson just yesterday tried to throw something out there and somebody came right back to him. The clapbacks. If you want some good legitimate clapbacks, go get the facts. The best clapback ever is when you give somebody a fact on their misinformation. That is the best clapback ever. So if you need some talking points or some clapbacks, go get them. They're out there because the person is probably not as well abreast on what the facts are. Online harassment. I did a blog post yesterday about freedom of speech and trolling. And so definitely check that out. You can read that at DryerBuzz.com, and I use some of the data sets there. In fact, I used this one. The future of free speech, trolls, anonymity, and fake news online. And this actual report came out in March. So, and it was interesting how the NFL players were trolled for using their freedom of speech. And there's still a lot of conversation as well, not that was really freedom of speech because you were in uniform and on the field. Any other questions or comments before we go? It's Pew Research, PEW. Somebody type that in the comments for me, and because if I try to type it in, it's gonna mess up the sound. But it's PEW research.org, and it's also on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. If you go to their Facebook page, they share a lot of this content, and then you can kind of read some of the comments to kind of get a gist of what America thinks, and it'll blow your mind. But you're like, wow, okay, that's where you are. Even when we present you with the facts, you're still there. I started this video by saying, Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. The one key missing point to that is then you need to leave them. Okay? Even the Dalai Lama himself, I don't have the book right here with me. Even the Dalai Lama himself says that forgiveness is great, but stop putting yourself in a position that you need to forgive. The only thing you can take out of a situation is yourself. The only thing you can take away from around negative people is yourself. The only errors that you can fix are your own. Okay, and that's what we have to begin to do. I was supposed to be on the road going across town, but then now that I think about the fact that they're going to do one right here in Douglasville, I need to blog, I need to get some other things done. I think I'll just meet up with them in Douglas. I was thinking, I'm like, Yolanda, why are you going to drive? And just see, this is something, y'all, we got to do. I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm getting ready to cut my stream off, get out here in traffic, rush across town when they're actually on their way this afternoon. And when I think about it, I got to be back here at 1 o'clock. I could drive over there, get stuck in traffic, and then can't get back here at 1 o'clock. So I've got to, there's a wonderful establishment, had a soft opening. And I'm like, do I want to talk about the restaurant after we had all this discussion? And yes, I do, because that's my truth. Okay. And if I can't live in my truth, then I won't live with you. But I'm going this afternoon. I'll probably live stream or snap or stories or something. But I'll be going to have lunch today. Kim is going to join me. A couple other people are going to join me for lunch today at 1 p.m. at a wonderful establishment that's opening here. We talk about economic development. You were able to 10X? This is how you 10X. Opening here called Blue Rose Art Bistro. It is absolutely everything. It's got art. It's got food. And I tell y'all, everywhere, no matter where you are in Atlanta, 2 streets over, there is something with a live stage. It's got art. It's going to have a live stage. It's going to have a bar. And the chefs are there preparing amazing meals. And we're going to go and sample some of those meals today. Thanks to those of you that are going to join me. Even if you're not joining me at my table, you can still drive on out here to Douglasville. Yes, I'm about to bring y'all to Douglasville again. It's about to be that season again. I'm getting ready to bring y'all back to Douglasville. There's a lot of growth, a lot of 10Xing, if I can borrow that again. A lot of up-leveling, a lot of next leveling happening outside of Atlanta. And also, if you did not watch the mayor's debate that happened last night, I'll share it again. This particular debate, there were some new faces at the table, some we haven't seen. And one of them on Facebook, I was like, where have you been? Turned it out, y'all. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all can think you know who's going to win this race, but there's some people in this race that are saying exactly what people want to hear, and they not only just saying what people want to hear, they have the solutions. And one thing I'm always concerned about, people who jump in these races and they got these amazing plans, and if you notice, if I become mayor or when you make me mayor, I'm going to do this. Okay, well, what if you lose? Can we still have the plan? There's a young guy in this. There's also another guy in the race, young guy who's a Georgia Tech student, and clearly a master of engineering, has the most amazing transportation plan that I've seen. And I was out there in Atlanta to about 4 o'clock this morning. enjoying myself. If you have not experienced Atlanta in the overnight, this city is off the chain. And I was out there in it. And let me tell you, but there's some really interesting people in this race. Some forerunners, some entitled forerunners, some regular forerunners, some people that really probably ought to be mayor, but then you like, I really want something new and different. We done had this for the past, the same old for the past 50 years. What if we were to just kind of go off the grid and grab somebody for mayor? I mean, they're only going to be in there. I mean, what can they screw up in 4 years? I mean, yeah, we've only had a year of Trump and we still here. I don't know how long, but you know what I'm saying? I said, what if we were to influence, because I can't vote in Atlanta, I don't live in Atlanta, but what if we were to use our influence to the Atlanta voters and tell them, what if y'all were to just go off the grid and grab one of these young minds? I'm just saying, I'm just wondering, what if, we never know unless we try it, right? And I think if they got in there, it was too much. I mean, how bad could you screw up Atlanta? Worse than it already is. I don't know. And I mean, I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm hearing, y'all. I really like what I'm hearing. I really like what I'm hearing. And some of those people, I've known forever. And I think that's the problem with Atlanta. There's too many people that we've known forever. I can look at you and realize that I've known you forever, but you ain't exactly 10x to my life. I mean, I'm just saying. The mere fact that I'm a native and I don't live in Atlanta, even as much love that I have for this city, that ought to tell you something. I don't know. What does it say, Kim? That Kim Coleman, who is a transplant, right? I think, no, are you born and raised? Who's a native? All the natives, raise your hand. But anyway, okay, let's go. This over here above my head right here, this is my book. It's called 27 Answers to Create Buzz. That's what I do every day, all day. I help people create buzz. If you want to find me, just look for you. If you are buzzworthy, you're going to find me. This particular painting up here, this is not even a painting. It's a collage. It's a beautiful collage. And I purchased it at a student art show. And it is so valuable to me because it's called A Woman with Ideas. And it's a collage. The silhouette that you see is actually a collage of articles that the young student was a senior in high school. She made a collage. She cut out all of these different articles and she made a silhouette of a woman. To me, looks like Ida B. Wells. Philly in the house. There you go. Transplant that came here and didn't move to inside the perimeter. I'm just saying. So that ought to tell you something as well. But it's a collage made of different articles. And if you zoom in on the articles, there's a couple of lines in each of the articles that really speak to how this young lady sees our world. And to look at that, you know that she has hope. And so I saw it in the exhibit. I walked right in, zoomed right in on it, and I had to have it. And it's now in my workspace. And I look up there and know that it's called A Woman with Ideas. Information on this and other artwork by our young people, you can find it on my Instagram. I got it at the Douglasville Museum for Cultural Arts and History. And periodically, they will have student exhibits. Let me tell you, in your community, just like in my community, there are museums and they have amazing exhibits. And some of these exhibits are by our young people, by our seniors, by our veterans. Everybody want to talk about they love the veterans, but let me tell you, Veterans Day is coming up in November. Now, watch how these people feel about the flag. Then when you start hearing about how our veterans are homeless, and here's another clap back when people are going to talk about, but you can't disrespect the flag. Well, let me tell you something. Some of those victims of police brutality are veterans. Right? Police being called to mental health situations and gunning down veterans. So don't tell me about patriotism. Don't tell me how much you love your flag, because we have had to drape so many of these veterans in those flags, not because of the service they've given around this world for this country, but because they came home and lost their lives in this country. See, that's how you clap back. Okay? I got to go. I got to go. All right, so don't tell me about your flag, because I have seen too many times that we have had to drape a veteran in that flag because they lost their life on the land that they fought for. So, on that note, please go to DryerBuzz.com. Thank you so much to those of you that watch it on YouTube. Remember, if you catch this video anywhere, you should watch it each and every day. I'm live at DryerBuzz.com. Facebook, thank you so much for always engaging and watching and hanging out. The longer I see you guys stay on, I feel so good. Y'all really feed my spirit because each and every day I wake up and ask myself, should I do it again? And y'all let me know that I should. Where can I see the debate? I will share that. It's on my Facebook timeline. But I created a hashtag for this mayor's race, and it's called Real Mayoral Candidates of Atlanta. Just go out there and look at the hashtag RMCOA. Pull up the hashtag RMCOA, and all of the debates, I'm trying to drop that hashtag so we can always filter the entire internet for the information that we're looking for. Somebody type that in for me. Hashtag RMCOA. Real Mayoral Candidates of Atlanta. It is an absolute reality show. Are you coming to the party? You know, yeah, October 22nd. That's the day before my birthday. We love to have DryerBuzz there. Where am I going? Tiffany. Tiffany Mack is with Black Girls Golf, and my family wants to come to a golf thing. We had so much fun at the Top Golf and found out we have a real hitter in the family. So we need to get behind her and get her out there playing some golf in her retirement. Let's see. I will be there. Tiffany, I'm gonna go to your face. I'm gonna go to Tiffany's Facebook page. Let me see if I can get over there because every time I open up my Facebook, I got so much stuff open. Let's see here. If you go to official, right? Black Girls Golf official. Make sure you please get the official one. And it's going to bring up, did I hit search? What did I hit? Why did I get the thing? I don't want the results. I want the page. It's taking me to Tiffany's page. Oh, I guess I can click it from there. Let me see. I want to go. Here we go right here. Okay. Tiffany is the CEO of Black Girls Golf. And Black Girls Golf, I went out and covered them on an amazing outing, and that's a YouTube out there. It's a YouTube that gets views every day. It's an organization, and I see a join free today. So if you are interested in golf, and I think I met Kim. Hey, Elaine Rackley, that's my cousin, y'all. Me and Ashley were pretty good too. Oh, look, she done jumped there talking about at the golf thing. Yeah, you and Ashley brought up the rear when we were at Top Golf, but it was absolutely amazing. I promise never ever to call you during Survivor's Remorse, and don't be calling me while I'm live streaming. And talk about smartphone only internet access and change it over the growth that my cousin right there has had with the internet over the past 2 years. If you didn't see the beginning of this video, Elaine, we were talking about the Blacks and Hispanics and internet access over these past 2 years. But anyway, back to Black Girls Golf. You said a party. The ladies at the range, y'all got to check that out. So tell me where to go to find. I guess I need to go to the events. Let me see. I'll find it. I will find it and I will get it shared. And she said a party on October 22nd. And that's actually the day before my birthday. So yes, y'all can have me a birthday cake and I will definitely be there. I'm looking for, is this a page or a group? I'm trying to see. We got a live breaking story here. A man has been shot and a person is in custody. Let's see. I was trying to find. Look, if y'all don't understand what this system with this golf swing, y'all don't know. We can't start another topic. We gotta go. I can't start another topic. But she's got all the golf information out there. And I'm telling y'all, when you pick up when you start your swing, when you pick it up, you will. And this is where she had all the ladies out on the golf range. She has beginners classes. She has advanced intermediate classes if you want to learn to golf. And one of the things I love about Tiffany is she says that a lot of times we go into these conferences and things like that. And as women, we just simply wait for the wrong time to try to network. Because a lot of times, by the time we get to where we think the networking is happening, it's already happened. The deals are already done. You know, they just basically entertaining us because they've already closed the deals on the golf course. Yolanda is the second post. Oh, okay, with the woman swinging. Okay, I passed it. Okay, let me go back. I was looking at the swing. This one. That one? No, I don't think it's. Let me. You said second. Oh, those are pictures. Okay. I'm trying. I'm not. Did I pass it? I think I might have passed it. You said second post. Oh, dang. Okay. Duh. Wait a minute, honey. And you got, girl, if you got to do, girl, stop. A DJ and a grill master. That's so funny because I used to do those. Thank you for sharing that on there. And if you got to do this over at, let me see where y'all having this at. Oh, she said RSVP quickly. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go. Ladies' Day at the Range. Girls at John A. White. Now you talk about a full circle moment. That's what I was talking about. I used to host at John A. White. When we talk about public safety, I used to host events like this with the police department, bridging the gap between police and community. I would invite the police department and the community into John A. White Park, have a DJ, and we're making a cookout. And that's when we had the best community policing ever. Yes. And tickets are $30 to $50. Ladies' Day at the Range. If Cousin Elaine, you need to come on home. Cousin Elaine, you need to definitely come on because this is the day before my birthday, so we need to roll up. So we need to get a tape. Let me see. Tickets are $30 to $50. $30 general. And she's doing a bring a friend for $50. So I'm gonna definitely get some tickets to this. And let me share it. I'm gonna share this and tag everybody. This is definitely the outing. If you missed the first Ladies' Day at the Range in September, you missed a great day of fun and networking. We had so much fun, we decided to do it again, except with a twist. Girl, finna have a DJ. See, this is why you don't want black women on the golf course. Tiffany finna turn it up. Oh my God, Tiffany, this is amazing. I love it. For the remix, we invited a DJ and flavors of Memphis' best barbecue and wings. We'll provide unlimited range balls. You bring the friends, fun, a lawn chair. Special pricing is available when you bring a friend. See tickets and then the fine print. No clubs required. You can borrow hours. Men and children are welcome. This is not a learning clinic. No golf instruction will be available. Food is not included in ticket price. Vegan options available. OMG. Okay, let me know how I can help. I want to see. I like the 10X. How can I sponsor this? That's what I'm talking about. How can I need a sponsor? I need a banner. Where's my banner at? Hold on a minute. Here, look, I ain't got to go far. How can I get the banner up at the golf party, y'all? Inbox me a link, Tiffany. How can I get the banners up at the golf party? Okay. Do I need to sponsor the DJ? What? Look, Kim, Tiffany, you need to whatever information you send me, send it to Kim. We don't want to just come. We want to be a part. Yolanda, we aren't teaching, but we have a PGA pro out there. Exactly, I know. And he walks around and helps. Okay. So it will be golfing, just not lessons. So anybody that's pretty much experienced any of your classes, this is just for them to come back. So, but yeah, definitely some fun. I mean, hitting the ball. I can't see you in any environment and not teach. As soon as you see somebody swinging wrong, you're gonna come over and want to instruct the swing. She's talking about they're not teaching that thing. Tiffany has never not taught somebody how to swing a golf club. And then you're gonna have Kim out there and right. She's talking no teaching. Yeah, right. With her passion for golf, she ain't gonna just let you be out there swinging. She gonna show you something, okay? Even if you just watching her in the golf pro. Yes, we don't leave anyone exactly. Okay, so all roads for October are headed to, and not only that, it's the day before my birthday. So I definitely want send me a link Tell me how to not just come as a participant. How can I support? How can I up level, help you do what you're doing? How can I sponsor? How can I become a sponsor? That's where I'm at right now. What do I need to sponsor something? Because I know your brand is absolutely amazing. The women are absolutely phenomenal. So definitely, I would like to support. And if I can sponsor maybe a couple of tickets as a giveaway or something like that, let's talk about that. All right, this has been Breakfast with DryerBuzz, y'all. We're talking about 10Xing over the last 2 years, not the past 2 decades. Over the last 2 years, one of the things we talked about on here is how have you been able to 2X, 5X, or 10X your lifestyle with this access to technology? And do you have broadband? Don't tell me about cord cutting, because if you tell me that you're a cord cutter, then you're telling me that you only have 20%. You're only accessing 20% of this amazing lifestyle that we now have with this access to technology. That's what I want to hear. How have you and your family been able to 2X, okay, double, 5X, double and a half, quadruple, and 10X, okay, times 10, your lifestyle? Have you been able to, in what part of your lifestyle? Either your time, your money, time with your family. I know I was able to 10X time with my family, meaning take care of my mother these last 3 years. And while I had to give up, she and I both had to give up our income, we were able to, thanks to technology, reimburse our expenses and spend amazing, priceless time together. Nobody can argue with that. I just spent priceless time. The time I spent with my mother over these past 3 years is time that she and I have never had together. And I'm the only child. She was a very hard worker. She worked until she could work no more. And then I took over and was able to take care of her. And I was only able to do that because of technology. Only able to do that because of technology. I wrote the 9 ebooks that I have to go with 27 answers. I wrote those ebooks at her bedside. I managed my website at her bedside. I launched an answer platform at her bedside because I couldn't travel. I had to be with my mom. And I didn't want to end up at this point having any kind of resentment or that I lost the lifestyle or anything like that, because it was the most amazing. We laughed more and did more together in the past 3 years than we did in an entire lifetime. Because unfortunately, until you know that your time is short, you have all these other priorities and all these other value systems. But then the very minute we knew that was all we had, you could not tear us apart. Yes, we don't leave it. Okay. All right, guys, it's really time to go, because I probably need to take another nap because I'm tired. No, I have to go and make sure. Kim, you need to get ready to head for me to lunch. I need to make sure my other compadres are ready for us to go to lunch. And I need to go get this blog post done on this deadline. YouTube is probably wondering, what the hell are we watching? And then, of course, you guys on Facebook for hanging out with me. Tiffany, I salute you for all the amazing things you are doing with Black Girls Golf Official. I have to say that. Black Girls Golf Official. Amazing organization. And look, I saw Kim. And the funny part about it, Tiffany, remember we were at your event and the golf cart and the people went riding down and they were screaming. Kim, okay, no, I remember what it was. Remember, Tiffany, we saw Kim them, they took off and Kim came back. They came back to the car. Kim, wasn't that you with the Vidalia onions or something? I can't remember. Oh my God, it was such an amazing experience. And those are memories that I'm going to have for a lifetime. Watching those women take over that golf course. Yes. Oh my God. That was that. See what I'm saying? Those are about memories. And that's why I say you have to be consistent and do what you do, because you never know who's watching. Look at Kim. You never know the relationships. And here we are a couple of years later, and Kim and I are road dogs, and we didn't even know each other that day. But I'm like, Kim is a serious networker. She's very professional, and I'm just glad to have her in my circle. Those were, that were no God. Oh, wait a minute. We kept trying to figure out. It was like a big old bag or something. Let me see. Remember the woman who was watching with her father? There was. I live streamed it, and there were so many people coming on the live stream that were with that took their video, and this is what we were talking about the whole 80-20 about technology. We were live streaming on the golf course, and there were women who let their fathers watch the video of these women on the golf course, because in their day they could barely be on the golf course, and it were not onions. Okay, we thought it was a big old bag of onions, and because we were trying to figure out like why is she getting onions. But anyway, there were women. We did it live on Periscope, and there were people coming on Periscope who had horrible memories of trying to be on the golf course. And one lady said her father was just in tears watching us enjoy that golf course. And it's the history of a lot of golf courses. And what I love about what Kimberly has done, she takes us all around. She goes all around the world to golf courses, but her event is in Southwest Atlanta. It's on Cascade Road, and so just imagine people riding up and down Cascade Road and look over there and see all those women out there. I mean, because it's highly visual to see all those women out there enjoying that golf course. In fact, my dad got on me because I talked about I was out there covering this, and he was like, "Wait a minute, you forget." You used to play with my clubs, as a kid all the time, rolling my golf balls down the hill and all this kind of stuff, playing in my golf. And he was in his feelings about it too, I'm telling you. And Dad was on this video, and he was in his feelings. It's like, because first of all, my dad's career, one of his first careers was working at a country club. From the day when he got an official job, when he had a daughter, and I'm his only child. And he worked there until I said, okay, I'm done. Until I became an adult, and he quit that job, and he went on and did some other things, career owning a restaurant, and he's been a DJ all his life, loves music, and so forth. He worked at a country club. So and not only that, I just found out that somebody that knows me, I didn't know that was our connection, actually worked with my dad. Some even hunked and waved. We took over. I'm telling you, that was an amazing visual. If you want to know what we're talking about, you can go again to our Facebook page, and you can see the pictures. She has a pictorial on here of them at the golf course. And the interesting thing about it is something that people don't freaking see. Like, why is that an odd image? Just like at the new face in tennis, and the lady was asking her, they have these weird questions for us when we do press, and the lady was like, "Did you see?" She said, like, "Did you see that check they gave me? If that don't inspire you to play tennis, I don't know what will." Right? I love it. I love it. I love it. So, all right. So I'm gonna make sure I get on this with Tiffany so that we can go. And those of you that are watching the replay, we'll put all the links. She put the link to her event in there. Those of you wondering about the Atlanta mayor's race, the hashtag that we're using to help you keep up with all the antics that's going on is RMCOA, Real Mayoral Candidates of Atlanta. And something else to be on the horizon for. I'm taking a hiatus just to kind of go through my grievance. So there is no Breakfast with DryerBuzz on the 7th. We're pushing it back. There's no breakfast in October, but November we are coming back, and it's going to be awesome and amazing. We're going back to the drawing board on this one as well. So it's just going to be awesome and amazing. So, but I don't know what it looks like, because I want to reboot and figure out what this, as my daughter said, I was about to say new normal, but it's not a new normal. Just reboot and figure out what direction I want to go with this thing. Oh, Sloan. Yes, Sloan Stevens. Oh my gosh, Sloan Stevens and Cardi B have just taken over. Let me tell you about it. People keep thinking millennials. Let me tell you something. We raised millennials. Millennials are not foreign to us. Stop acting like millennials are some aliens that came from somewhere. Millennials came from us, okay? And we already know who they are and what they're trying to be. These are our millennials. So stop acting like they're straight. Did you see that check they gave me? If that don't inspire you to play tennis, I don't know what will. And so then she asked about the next girl. Did you see that check they gave her? I loved it. We got to love on some people, y'all. We got to stop and just absolutely love it. It's time out for trying to point out everybody's errors. It's time out for being offended by everything. we have got to learn to embrace joy again. And that's, I think, something that I've learned over the past 3 years of spending time with my mother, because every moment was trying to find a joy moment. Okay, let's get beyond this. And where's our joy? Where's our joy? And laughing, I think I laughed more. And yeah, I cried a lot, but I think I laughed more. I learned so much. My mother was, every day was a lesson. You got to know this, and you got to know that, and you got to know this. And I'm like, I don't want to learn nothing else. Can we just be mother and daughter? And right now, I'm so thankful that she kept teaching, that she was always teaching. So, and that made me who I am. It made me who I am. So what else can I say? I am who I am. I'm Yolanda P. Lattimore. I'm the editor, super blogger, pioneer of digital publications. And you can find me every day, all day. You can, in fact, filter the entire internet just by using hashtag DryerBuzz. Or you can start out over on my base camp, which is called DryerBuzz.com. All right, guys, I love you all. I'm going to hit you all up in your DMs and all that kind of stuff. And we'll check up with you guys later. Thanks now. Bye.